Morning, folks. Just bear with us, please. We didn't get in touch with we have a little problem at the studio, so just bear with us. The guys are working on it. We're gonna get it on soon. Morning to you all. What button? That it doesn't go. Ah, Sheikh Jabate. Morning, my dear son. He says he's at the airport leaving for the convention in Norway, Moss, I believe. Yes, that's the city of Moss in Norway. All our COP people are gathering there for the COP Europe convention. I know it's gonna be a beautiful one. You all send me lots of pictures. Sheikh, send me lots of pictures from there. Yeah, that's great, man. Our people are gathering there, having a convention in Norway. Okay, here is George. George, morning.
Good morning, Costa, and good morning, our many listeners. Uh, we are sorry for the little delay. This is some technical problem, but it's good to be here with you this morning, Costa.
Yes, it is good. Open it, okay. Start. I'm doing something. Carry on.
Okay, so folks, let me say good morning wherever you are, however you are following us, be it through the radio, that's D15 98.1, or our various social media platforms. We want to say good morning and welcome to the Friday's edition of the Costa Morning Show. This is where we don't mince our words, we call a spade, and we provide you factual information that is relating to our body politics in Liberia. So, um, Friday,
Yeah.
the 20,
Good
the
morning.
26th.
Welcome. Good afternoon. Good evening. It depends where you are. We're glad to be here. It's a beautiful Friday morning from my end. Good to be here, and the last edition of the show for the week. And we have a lot of things on our plate this morning. We want to hear from you more. Yesterday, we didn't get an opportunity to really hear from our people. So we finally scheduled the thing with Eugene Fangong. So Fangong, if nothing happens, Fangong will be on the show on Monday.
Okay, that's
Check
good.
the apps, George. Check the apps. I see people complaining. I want to make sure they're working. So Fangong should be with us on Monday. Monday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time, which will be 11 a.m. Liberian time. And he will be spilling the beans on all the issues that he's been talking about. And I sent you that other clip, Boaka, yesterday. So it's when things are falling apart and the former insiders are now outsiders who are spilling the tea. It's good to hear them out,
Absolutely.
especially for those people who might be considering joining them in 2023. Just so you know that it is not all rosy there. Fagon used to give the impression that he was a big shot in the government,
Mm-hmm.
that everything was great. the American man says, hunky dory. What are you doing there, George? What are you doing there? You're messing up the sound. What are you doing there, George?
He's still checking up things. He said man should check up all the apps. So he's doing them.
Yeah, so people used to have the impression that everything was great, everything was hunky dory, but apparently not. That was not the case. What is that feedback I'm getting? I normally don't get that. Why is that happening this morning?
Like what? Because from our end here, all is okay.
But I was certainly hearing myself. I was. And just so you know, the
Mm.
Yombly fashion of the Liberty Party is going to court. Yeah. So again, Liberty Party goes to court. They're filing something before the Supreme Court today, and they're also filing something before the National Elections Commission. So those of you in the ANC who are celebrating that you have the Liberty Party with you, prepare yourselves. You're going back to court. And more than likely, the court could rule that that agreement that the ANC signed with Musa Ability is not legitimate. It is just a very simple issue. Gentlemen, are we on a radio? And I don't just want you to say yes if you don't know that for a fact. It's just a simple issue.
Let me ask you.
When they go to court, and they are going to court, they're going to file a paper before the Supreme Court today. And yesterday they went to the National Elections Commission. When the Elections Commission or the Supreme Court says that that agreement is not legitimate, because why are they going to say that? They're going to say that based on what the Constitution of the party says. The Constitution of the Liberty Party is very clear. It says very clearly that in order for the Liberty Party to join with any other party or join with any other political party in any arrangement whatsoever, the political leader of the party and the chairman of the party must both affix their signatures to that agreement. Yombly did not sign that agreement. Therefore, that agreement lacks legitimacy, and as such, it does not have any legal effect, and as such, it is null and void. It is as simple as that. You do not need to be a rocket scientist to understand that, to know that. That is the way these things work. If you and your wife own a piece of land and someone wishes to purchase that piece of land from you and your wife, as long as your wife is available and is not indisposed, you and your wife must sign away and transfer ownership of that piece of land to the person looking to purchase it from you both. If you alone sign, that purchase is not legitimate unless your wife expressly grants you consent and go ahead to sign. Jerome Beslow, that argument that Yombly was expelled makes no sense. And you know that very well. Who did the Supreme Court recently recognize when they appeared before the Supreme Court? The two factions appeared before the Supreme Court. The Yombly faction and the Ability faction. I hate to call it that way. Because I hate to even talk about factions. Because Yombly is actually the leader of the party. What's up with the radio, guys? I'm waiting.
It's still trying to connect from our end here there to theirs.
Fine. Yombly is the leader of the party. It is as simple as that. Also, so you see the argument the ANC people are making that Yombly was expelled. Yombly was expelled as political leader, but the Supreme Court recognized Yombly 2 months ago. I mean, what kind of nonsense is that? What kind of argument is that? The person who was expelled was only recently recognized by the Supreme Court Belete and Yombly appeared before the Supreme Court. When the Supreme Court presided over and directed the both of them to make the necessary corrections to the constitution of the party and resubmit that constitution, then you are saying that Yombly is not was expelled. You think the Supreme Court would recognize an expelled person? Hmm? Oh, so she was expelled after the Supreme Court appearance. This is just ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. That's, you know, again, I go back to say this. If you know John Brown does not own this bottle of water alone, he owns it along with his brother or his sister. And you go and knowingly purchase this bottle of water from one person, from John Brown alone, and you do not get his sister involved, and you think you've made the purchase, eh? And you think you've made the purchase. They say we are on the radio now. But confirm that. What about the apps, George? Can you check the apps and make
They are
sure?
working. They are working now. They are working.
Thank you, Boakai. Thank you. You know, we're not, people just don't listen to us on radio. Long before we resume on radio, we've been streaming on 6 platforms. And we've ensured that all of those platforms are working still because thousands of people watch the show and listen to the show via those video and online, and audio platforms. So it's very important to us. All of those people, we care about our audience. We want to make sure they all can listen to us on those platforms. It is as simple as that. Now they also tell you that so why did Musa appear with the expelled political leader? If you say you expel Yombly, when the Supreme Court called you before her, in fact, who took the complaint to the Supreme Court? Yombly. Yombly was the one that took the complaint to the Supreme Court. And if Musa knew that he had expelled Yombly from the party, from her position, why didn't Musa tell the Supreme Court that he had expelled Yombly? Why didn't he do that? Musa should have simply told the Supreme Court, oh, Madam Supreme Court, Justice, this woman who brought a complaint here has no legitimacy to bring any complaint because she was expelled from the party. It is as simple as that. Musa Belete should have told the Supreme Court that I cannot appear if I dismiss Bwaka. Bwaka works for me. If I dismiss Bwaka and Bwaka takes my complaint somewhere, that he is still my employee, the moment I appear before that body, the first thing I will say to them is that I'm sorry to inform you, but Bwaka Kamara no longer works for me. He no longer works for me. Because guess what? He no longer works for me. I will tell him that. But no, I don't do that. I don't tell him that Bwaka no longer works for me. I sit there and I participate in whatever reason I was called for along with Bwaka. Along with Bwaka. And you know the terrible shame? Liberty Party was such a respectable party. And Liberty Party was always third place. Yes.
Yeah.
They were the third largest political party in the country. I said were. They were, because guess what? With all this mess happening in Liberty Party, you're no longer the third largest party in the country. I'm sorry to say. It's unfortunate. It is unfortunate what Belete has succeeded in doing with the Liberty Party. So for Belete to be claiming that the reason he signed an agreement with ANC without Yombly is because Yombly is expelled, is it not the same Yombly you appeared alongside before the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court ordered the both of you? So folks, there you have it. So to the ANC people, you are the ones who have been played here. You are the ones who have been played. And yesterday I asked, let one ANC person stand up and have the courage and say, Mr. Cummings, we support you, but this agreement you signed with Musa Belete without Yombly is not legitimate and it will not stand. Now one ANC person could say that. Not one. Not one of them. And that agreement will not stand. The Supreme Court will not accept it. they might issue a prohibition against that agreement you signed. Because Yumble Kanga Lawrence, whether you like her or not, she is the legitimate political leader of the Liberty Party. Just 2 months ago, the Supreme Court recognized her as the political leader of the party. It's as simple as that. Now, we're gonna move on to something else here. So I just don't know why some people make their lives difficult unnecessarily. I mean, why would I do that? Why would I know that Boubacar Kamara does not have the authority or the legitimacy to sell something to me, and I would go to Boubacar and try to make him sell that thing to me? Why would I do that? Boubacar, why would I do that to myself? I know Boubacar does not have the authority to sell this thing to me. In fact, he doesn't even own this thing that he wants to sell to me. And I call myself an educated person. Why would I even let Boubacar sell it to me? Why?
Yeah, because what I'm thinking is that this is Liberty Party. Liberty Party been coming third in all of the elections in our country, and ANC just come up. They want to make name in the upcoming 2023 elections.
And is that right?
Probably
Again,
fighting
I
to
keep
get a
telling
top
you.
position.
Go ahead, Boubacar. Go. The thing I don't understand.
Yeah,
Is just,
fighting to get a third place position in the upcoming 2023 elections. So they have to do some things like make sure that the party that normally go third doesn't go third again. So we have to dismantle them, do everything possible, and now start to fight for the second place position between the United Party and the CDC. So I think from my end, what I'm thinking is that it's a it's a clear game being played here by the ANC folks to get to start claiming the ladder bit by bit. So now they have gotten rid of those in the third place because they came fourth in the other elections. So
no,
the
they did
person
not
that
come.
came third,
Boubacar, hold on. Go check your statistics. ANC did not come fourth place. ANC picked up 7% of the votes. They came fifth place. Fourth place was Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson came fourth place. Go check your stats. Proceed.
okay,
Prince Johnson got more votes than Cummings, just so you know. Proceed. ANC came fifth. Okay? Continue your point. Oh, why? You're frozen? Yeah, so just so you know, folks, that information Boubacar provided is incorrect. ANC came fifth place, number 5. Not
oh
fourth.
okay, ANC keep fifth place. So now, as I was saying, Costa, they just a clear understanding from my end that they want to get rid of the third place winner and get at that particular position and start to fight for the second and first place. So it's a clear game
And
being
when they're
played
gonna
by.
do that? They're coming
But
from fifth place to go what? Let me tell you
this
something.
is what
No fifth place person is going to make it to the second round of the elections in 2023. It's not going to happen. You came fifth place in 2023 over one election cycle. You're not going to be able to come from fifth place to second place. It is not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. You understand? It's not going to happen. To go to the second round, you need to get about 400,000 votes, or no, over 400,000 votes. It is as simple as that. Over 400,000 votes. And here's why. Joe Bugger got 448,000 votes in 2017. We got over 500,000 votes in 2017. That's why the two of them faced off in the second round. For you to go to the second round, Cummings got 112,000 votes. 112,000 votes is what Cummings got. 112,000 votes. It is not going to be easy. So that means for Cummings to go to the second round in 2023, Cummings would have to increase his votes by about 300,000 votes. Cummings will have to get more than 300,000 votes. He will have to surpass Joe Boubacar to make it to this. I don't know how you're going to do that. It's just mathematically, it's just highly improbable. I did not say impossible because anything is possible, but it's highly improbable for Cummings to make it. And this is not me attacking Cummings, and I keep telling you, I'm not going to go into the gutter anymore. I'm not going to do that. But we're just looking at statistics here. For Cummins to win, to surpass Joe Bugger to get into the second round, Cummins would have to get over 300,000 new votes.
So that's what he's doing, Costa. Oh, getting Musa Belete on board, getting rid of
Musa
the
Belete
AIG.
brings what votes? Listen to me. Musa Belete brings votes from where?
But that's his thinking. That's his belief, and that's the ANC.
Where does Musa Belete bring votes? Where does it bring votes from? I'm waiting for you to tell me.
They are in from Nimba.
Musa Belete got votes in Nimba. All right. So basically, that's the way it's going to be. The election will be between George Weah and Joseph Boakai. It's as simple as that. That's where the elections will be. Recently, the ANC folks were talking about a poll that they did. They did a survey. They had a survey commissioned. And they were on radio saying that their own survey showed that they were in a distant third place. Yeah. They were discussing it on radio that they came a distant third place in their own survey. You're 14 months away from the elections. 14 months away from the elections. And you're still in the distant third place? Eh? You're still in distant third place. You're 14 months away from the elections. So distant third place, significantly distant third place. How are you going to leave that distant third place to make it? I don't see it. I don't see how you're going to do it. And Liberian voters are not, they don't change their minds overnight. I'm sorry. The voters don't change their minds overnight. And so maybe when Liberty Party joins you, like you think you have them now, then you're going to get Bassa. Maybe you got Bassa now. Musa Belete will bring Bassa to you. but Liberty Party doesn't win anywhere else but in Bassa. Liberty Party does not win anywhere else but Grand Bassa and River says. So can Belete bring River says and Bassa to you? So that's it.
Yeah, they are thinking financially they can turn things around though.
Okay, we'll see. Money cannot win elections in Liberia if you don't have votes. You got to have the votes. You got to have the support so that money may help you. Money helps you move around. Money helps you do those things, but money does not help you win. If you rely on money, you will not win. We saw Thomas Fala. We saw Polita Weed. How much money CDC didn't spend. Money does not make you win at all. Zero. Now, we're going to move on to something else there. Well, sometimes you say it, I don't know. I wouldn't participate in a race that I know I can't win, where all the indicators are clear that I cannot win. Why would I waste my time running? How are you going to lead from 112,000 votes in 2000 and what? 112,000 votes in 2017. And then in 2023, 6 years later, you're going to come to what? 400,000 votes. To make it the second round, you got to get 400,000 votes. It is as simple as that. You have to be in the 400,000 range to make it a second round. How can you do that when Boakai is running? How can you do that when Gonglo is running?
Well, Costa.
How? I don't understand.
They believe that the voters' mind have changed probably.
The voter mind changed, but I thought they just recently commissioned a survey. Didn't you hear about the ANC survey that they recently did?
That's what I'm saying.
Distant third place.
Back in 2017 was a different scenario, and we're coming into 2023.
Okay, stop. Different scenario. The ANC just conducted a survey. They said it themselves. One of their members, the senior members, said it publicly on radio. Their survey put them in distant third place. They said it on radio. They said it on national radio. They came a distant third place. Their own survey that they paid for put them in a distant third place. So I'm saying 14 months to the elections, how are you going to be able to move from a distant third place? You got to get 400,000 votes minimum to make it a second round. The question ANC folks have to ask themselves, how are we going to get 400,000 plus votes while Joe Boakai is running? and undercut Buakai to make it to the second round? That is a question they need to ask themselves. How is that going to happen? To make it to the second round, you have to have a minimum of 400,000 votes. We got 112,000 votes the last time. So the question is, Jerome Beslow, if you were the strategist, the question would be, how do we get 400,000 votes while Buakai is running? If Joe Buakai was not running for president, then you might have a chance. But the question is, how do you get 400,000 votes when Buakai is running? Well, you already got 100,000 votes. So now you need to get additional 300,000 votes. Where do you find 300,000 votes? New voters to support you when Joseph Boakai is in the race. That
Yeah.
is
So you within yourself to believe that the numbers that Barca accumulated in 2017 are just static. They will not. There will be no changes. There will be no other things coming up in 2023.
most other people are still supporting Boakai. Do a survey any day. All the surveys you've seen. Don't you live in Liberia?
Yeah, I do live in Liberia. Yeah,
Okay, let me ask you a question. Every single survey, radio, Facebook, who are the two top people in those surveys?
Barca and we are.
Every single time.
Mm.
Has there ever been a survey where Boakai did not feature with George Weah in the top two position?
He's always coming.
He's one and two places.
Barca we are. Barca we are. But what I'm saying, Costa.
No. Listen. You asked me a question. I asked you a
Mhm.
question to answer your question. Every
Mhm.
single time there's been a survey by radio stations and media institutions that are not supporting Joe Boakai, how has Boakai fared in each of those surveys?
Barca we are. Barca we are. Barca we are.
Okay, if it shows Boakai we are consistently in every single survey, what does that tell you?
That tells me that the upcoming 2023 election most definitely second round will be Barca and we are. What I'm saying, Costa, is this.
Okay, but then it goes to answer your question. So if you believe that Boakai is still not in that position where he got those votes, nobody tells anybody keeping votes in their pocket. But guess what, Boakai? The fact that every single survey puts Boakai and we are neck and neck. In some cases, Boakai even wins. You know, a lot of surveys Boakai won we are. You know that. Surveys conducted by radio stations that are against Joseph Boakai, radio stations that deride and say all kinds of nonsense about Joe Boakai. You know that. Every single survey puts Boakai in the top spot with George Weah.
What now they are capitalizing on is just they just ended election in Lofa County.
But let me ask you a question. Has there been a single survey that put Cummings in any competition with George Weah?
No, they haven't been.
So when do you think that's going to ever happen? It doesn't work that way, Boakai. This is the numbers game. It is a numbers game. If you don't have the numbers, you can't win. And this doesn't just apply to Mr. Cummings. I think Mr. Cummings is a fine candidate. I think he is. But being a fine candidate is not what makes you win, Boakai. You I'm sorry, it doesn't make you win. You have to be able to win, Yubo. If you can't win, no matter how bright, how great your ideas, they mean nothing, Boakai. You can have all the fine ideas. Those ideas are only good if you can win and be able to implement them. Winning, my man, everything in politics. It's a numbers game, Boakai. It is a numbers game. That's how it has to work. Now we're going to move on to something else here. As I told you, we will speak with Mr. Daniel Menion in 28 minutes from now. He's our guest. He's the founder of the school, the Daisy Bopa Academy in Moet District, Riverside County, a wonderful school, the school that made history, that shocked the nation in quite a pleasant way. Because when I say surprise, it would be an understatement. The results from the WAS exams just blew us away. And we are just impressed. And so I spoke with the gentleman behind the school, and he he is a fantastic gentleman. What he's done, the story is just amazing, and we needed to bring him on to just share with us how they achieved such a phenomenal feat, with those students, and how the school was founded, the history of the school, how the school has been supported all the way there. No offense to the people of Rivers says, but in one of the poorest, one of the most underdeveloped counties in the country. And it is a shame because Rivers County is also equally one of the most naturally endowed counties in the country. Tremendous natural resources, timber, gold, diamonds, everything is in Rivers County. But because the same malaise of corruption, lack of vision, Rivers is as backward as it is. However, by these great results shown by these students from that school is a best testament to the fact that when you make the right kind of investment and give the right amount of attention to our students, wherever they are, however poor their community, they can do well. They might even do better, as has been demonstrated, than the students who go to school in Monrovia. It doesn't matter where you are, where you go to school, how far your county is, whether you are exposed to all the fine things the children in Monrovia are exposed to, you can do well. And that is what Mr. Daniel B. Mignon and his great team at the Daisy Bopa Academy in Moet District, Rivers County, has demonstrated that it is possible, that those students have tremendous potentials. And they've shown it. So we will speak with him shortly. But let's go to the phone lines. Let's interact with our people. Today, we want to just ask you, tell us what's on your mind, what's bothering you. And then after that, we will go and speak with Mr. Daniel B. Mignon, the proprietor of this school in Rivers County, where the students performed with flying colors on the just ended national West African exams. Okay, let's go to the lines. Let's take our people. Let's hear from them, and then we're gonna go and take our guest. You're listening to the Costa Show. Oh my God, you're listening to the Costa Show, and it's a pleasure to have you all here this morning. And those of you listening from via radio in Liberia, listening via the online platforms around the world, and Facebook and YouTube and MyTuno and Tuning and all the multiple platforms. It's just good to have you. Well, let's take some calls.
Yep. So the phone lines are open: 0770 102 86 010
Now, before we take the first caller, I just want to say this: HPX, the company that is seeking to get the this is interesting, to get exclusive access to the rail and to the port of Buchanan. They're saying that they are confused. They're confused as to who to deal with.
Yeah,
they were in the process of having their concession agreement ratified.
Yeah.
They've given the government $30 million.
They go to a lot of us and share some money there.
Yeah, they went to the legislature. They gave Buffer Chambers and his folks $500,000 to bribe them. Now the agreement is before the legislature. Because of them, the government pulled the plug on the ArcelorMittal deal. Now HPS is complaining, oh, who do we talk to now? Like you brought us in the middle of the ocean and you left us because my girl that we used to deal with is no longer here. Bill Torway that we used to deal with is also no longer here.
Yeah.
So HPS is saying, who do they talk to now, Wakai? They say they are confused. Well, that they're telling me now that the point is out, it might also lead there too. Because the players have changed. Now they say they don't know who to talk to. But Wakai, the government shouldn't operate like that. HPS should be dealing with the Interministerial Concession Committee. Yeah, the IMCC, the Interministerial Concession Committee. They should not be dealing with a minister, a single minister, or the managing director of the National Port Authority. They should be dealing with the IMCC, the Interministerial Concession Committee. So they shouldn't be complaining that they don't know who they're going to talk to. So is this how the government operates? One minister is the one you deal with, or one official? You should, if you are a concessionaire, you should be dealing with a whole committee which comprises several ministers, not individuals. Not individuals. So now SPS is saying they don't know who they're going to deal with. Because they were dealing with McGill, but McGill is no longer there. They were dealing with Bill Torrey, and Bill Torrey is no longer there. So who are they going to talk to? Oh, you have just exposed the government. HPX, that's what you just did. So are you trying to say that in the whole government, you are trying to get a concession agreement passed and you were only dealing with two individuals, Bill Torrey and Antonio McGill? And that the IMCC, the Interministerial Concession Committee, you were not dealing with them, you were dealing with individual officials in the government? This is how the corruption happens, Bwaka. Bwaka, I can't hear you.
Okay. Sorry. What the Americans say about McGill and Bill Torrey, this is just why it's happening right now.
But yeah, because HPX themselves have said it.
Yeah.
That they don't know who to talk to now. Because the people they were talking to are no longer around. You see that? They see they don't know who to talk to. Wow.
Okay. Let's take some calls.
Yeah,
Let's take the villager advisor to the Costa Show. Good morning, welcome.
DJ Kamara, good morning, my dear brother. Good morning, leader.
Morning, my brother.
The religious advisor to the Costa Show. I call from Banazzo. You know something I want to say. Let me make my contribution. When it comes to the issue of Mr. Cummings, then it takes us way back to say certain things that we didn't have to say on the radio. You see, the reason Musa is getting some relevance in the Labour Party is because there was one door open, and that door needed to be closed. What was the door? The door of becoming chairman of the party. Senator Lawrence, Senator DeLong, Prince Moise, they had the ability to post that to the whole stuff. This is where Musa Blade has getting hold of this Labour Party. So for me, I'm not going to eat the cry with shame. I'm going to say as it is. They have made this mistake, and Senator DeLong, whether he has realized it or nobody has realized it, I think they should solve their own problem. Honestly, because it's going too far. Even when you go to Oceania, the role she playing now, you think the case is going to work in the interest of the Labour Party? Thank you, Mr. Costa.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's take Noah Zao Gibson. Noah, good morning and welcome to the show. Good morning,
hello,
Noah. You're live with us. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Bwaga, and thank you, Costa. Leader, but you've been too busy these days, so I can understand. But whatever the situation is, leader, I just want to make this quick intervention as it relates to the distant threat that Mr. Comey finds himself that he has survey that they conducted. The reason why Mr. Comey is in a distant threat with no disrespect to him is because the Liberty Party that used to be in that position is no longer feeding a presidential candidate. That the collaboration of the UP on the Yombly side. But I can tell you, if the Liberty Party were in a race to feed a presidential candidate as they did in 3 previous elections, the Comey would no longer find himself. They saw me putting there because of the absence of the Liberty Party. They are no longer feeding Kennedy presidentially because of the collaboration with UP, more especially the Yombly Kangasa. You know that the Liberty Party contested in 3 elections. 2005, they came third with 13.9%. 2011, they declined. The King fourth place previously took the third place. Then they just ended 2017 election. They came back to their third. So it means in 3 occasions, they came third 2 times. So the reason why Mr. Comey is in that third place because the Liberty Party is not feeding a presidential candidate. But if Labour Party to come back to see your presidential candidate, you will not even be in that fair position. And then I just want you to clarify something for me. The HPS, which company are they? What are they to do? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Noah Zhao Gibson.
That's a good question, Noah Zhao Gibson. HPS is a mining company. They're into iron ore mining. They have a piece of the Samandu iron ore deposit in Guinea, in next to Guinea. The Samandu project is, Guinea has one of the highest grades of iron ore in the world. Guinea iron ore is way more valuable than Liberian iron ore. So the demand for it is higher. HPX has a piece of the Guinea iron ore of the Samandu project. The Guinean government, divided up that Samandu mountain into several pieces, and HPS has a piece. HPS wants to flip their piece. They want to sell it. They want to transfer their ownership of the Samandu project, the piece of the Samandu project that they have. But to do that, I hope you're listening, Noah Zhao Gibson, and we've discussed this many times. But to do that, HPS needs to have access to a port, nearby port, that they can use to transport the iron ore when it has been exploited. Now, the Samandu Mountain is close to the Liberian border with Nimba. It is extremely far from Conakry, where they have their port, their seaport. Therefore, it would not be attractive to any investor to acquire their holding rights in the Samandu project, because they would not be able to exploit the iron ore and then take it all the way to Conakry. So what HPS is trying to do is acquire exclusive right to the rail. So rather than taking the iron ore to Conakry, which is very far, they want to take the iron ore through Nimba
to the port of
Buchanan, and then ship it out of the country. So in order for them to flip the iron ore deposit they have in Guinea, they have to secure transportation rights and access to the port in order for them to do that. Because that's the only way it would be attractive to any buyer who would buy it from them. Let me break it down to you another way. Boakai Kamara owns a piece of land right behind the river. But the road that leads to the land, the only road that leads to that land, is a good piece of land. People want to buy it. But the road that leads to that land is owned by Henry Costa. I own the land. I mean the road. So in order for Boakai to sell that piece of land from which he could make a lot of money, Boakai comes to Henry Costa and says to him, Costa, I own this piece of land, but the road that leads to the land is owned by you. Can you sign an agreement with me that grants me exclusive passage or right of passage for this road or to this road? And Boakai and I negotiate, and I grant him that exclusive right to use this road to commute back and forth. Once Boakai gets that right from me, he then combines it with the land that he owns, or the deed to the land that he owns, and then he goes to a buyer and says to the buyer, I have just secured the right of passage to this road, therefore you can now buy the land from me. So in order to sell his land, I must ensure, or Boakai must ensure, that he comes and he secures right to passage. So what HPS wants in Liberia is not an iron ore deposit. They don't want any mineral resource in Liberia. What they have in Guinea is anything they could possibly find in Liberia. I don't know why Guinean iron ore is one of the best in the world and Liberian iron ore is one of the cheapest in the world. I don't know why. Go ask God. But that's the truth. So all they want is right to passage, because to have access to the rail would make it easy for somebody and attractive for somebody to buy them out of their holding rights. So, hey, HPS is not looking to invest in Liberia. They are not looking to hire thousands of people in Liberia. All HPS wants, give them access to our rail and to our port so they can flip the iron ore deposit that they have in Guinea. period, and walk away with billions of dollars. That's all they want. Let's go back to the phone line, take some more calls there, and in 12 minutes, we will take our guest. In 12 minutes. Let's take some calls.
Let's take this person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, your name, where joining us from?
Yeah, Baba, my name is Kemakam. I'm calling from Johnson Street.
Welcome.
Let me say good morning to Costa as well, you know. Yeah, I don't want to appreciate Costa, man. You know, the stain I take, you know, but not to attack us for me anymore. Hey, man, that commitment I made, you know. I stick to that commitment because, you know, to be honest with Costa, supporting other, you know, but I hear somebody attacking my political leader, to be honest. So I just want to appreciate Costa for that. But let me be real with my political leader this morning, you know. That agreement I was saying, I think it's illegitimate, you know. To be honest, that agreement is illegitimate. The Senate bill have to comply with the chairman of the party in order for that particular agreement to be valid, you know. To be honest, that agreement is illegitimate. I just want to conjure down and Senate bill the money as I'm coming, you know, let that thing twice, you know, go back on the drawing board and see how they can bring Yobi Kanga Lawrence to that side. In other than that, that particular agreement is illegitimate. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now, Bogai, at least we have, and my brother who just called, you say you support us, but you are an ANC man. And I respect that. I have a lot of supporters who are ANC people. And I want to reassure you or reaffirm and restate and reiterate that I will stick to my commitment. I will not attack Mr. Cummings or his party. I will not do that. But I will speak the truth when the truth has to be spoken. And I respect you for the point you just made. You had the courage, even though you support Mr. Cummings, but you had the courage to speak up and say the agreement is not legitimate. I respect you for that, my brother. And I wish many more ANC supporters could have the courage to get up and say, Mr. Cummings, we love you, we support you, but you cannot sign an agreement that is not legitimate and you expect us to be excited about that. I respect you. But let's take a few more calls. Hopefully, a few more ANC people would call and they would say the same thing that caller just said.
Let's take James Akwe. James, good morning. Welcome, B-Brother.
Yeah, good morning, and Pedro, and good morning, and Walker. And Pedro, first, let me thank you for what you just explained concerning the SPA. And deal, yeah, it really puts me somehow up to speed. With understanding the entire thing. But quickly, this is what really on my mind. And for me, what's on my mind has to do, with the failure of all the oppositions to really come together and form and that rainbow coalition that I always talk about. That's what all the Nigerians technically want now. And so that at least they can be able to defeat whether in the first round or the second round or so. So, thank you for the show and thank you for all that you continue to do for the people of Liberia. Thank you, Pedro. Again, thank you, Wakai.
Thank you so much, B-Brother. Long time. Let's take this person. Good morning.
Good morning, Wakai.
Yeah, your name, where joining us from?
Good morning to my good friend, Pedro Costa. This is the voice of Usman Mbirete, and I call you from district number 2. Like you rightly said, the issues about the ANC and that of the Musa-related faction of the Liberty Party, because I say it is just a pastoral faction of the Liberty Party. I think the agreement the ANC signed with Musa-related, I think that agreement is not enforced. Because the fact of the matter is that whether you like it or not, some of us maybe we speak the fact because of our connection. Other people say, oh, why are you against your own kinsman? It's not about kinsmanship here. Now be realistic here. That Costa said, look, if Kumi thinks that you can form the line with Brady to say you want to win the Liberty Party's partisans over the top of the Liberty Party, it is just a joke. I'll be honest with you. That is not true. The fact of the matter here is that Nyomble Kanga Remy, the standard, let me say the political leader of the Liberty Party. So if you go into an agreement with Liberty Party, make sure that she is on board. But if you do that, it just pass. So I saw that just as a showmanship that you did the last time. It's invalid. Like Costa said.
Thank you so much, my brother. Let's take somebody from the diaspora, to be specific, Norway. Good morning, welcome. Your name following us from where part of Norway?
Yeah, good morning, Parker. Do you hear me well?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, very good. I just want to tell Costa one thing. You've already committed yourself
your name,
not to attack Mr. Comics, which is very, very welcoming. But also making statements that will undermine the political efforts of Mr. Comics, I think it's the same attack. You sit on your radio where you have a lot of followers and you're telling, hello?
Your name, you didn't tell us your name.
I know that fella. He's a very unreasonable ANC supporter.
My name is Linford. My name is Linford Egon Gore, and I just want to let Costa know that making statements that will undermine political efforts.
What to say?
Even worse than attacking verbal.
You will not tell me what to say.
Hello.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You want to tell us?
You will not tell what to say
on the show.
No, I did not tell Costa to commit me.
Ask that caller whether he believes that the agreement with the agreement they signed is a legitimate agreement. Ask him.
So the agreement between Musa
No, Costa, you're not talking to
let him answer the question.
I'm talking like you.
Answer the question now.
You were just. What?
Let him answer the question.
I'm not in a position to tell you what
Wait, let him answer the question.
Okay,
the question is this: believe that the agreement is a legitimate agreement?
The agreement between Musa Belete and Mr. Alexander Cummings, do you believe it is legitimate? Yes or no?
No, I'm not in police code for you to give me police question. My judgment.
All right, thank you so much.
And you see that? And you see that? He knows that it is not a legitimate agreement. But you see, he was still supported.
Yeah, welcome, my brother.
How you doing, brother?
Yeah, welcome.
I'm Thomas William calling from Minnesota.
Thomas, welcome, brother.
Walker, I don't want to speak to the agreement. Let me speak to the judgment of Mr. Cummings. I don't know what Mr. Cummings understand what we call the cost and benefit analysis. Why is the rationale beyond spending millions of dollars in an election that you are far from even coming third place, reasonable third place? Look at the ANC strategy. The only strategy is maybe Joseph Braga will retire from now to 2023. Who told them that Joseph Braga is going to retire? That's a weak strategy. Joseph Braga will be a formidable post. Thank you, Braga.
Thank you. We'll take two more calls, then we'll cross over to Costa. Let's come back home and take this person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name, where you calling us from?
Thank you so much. I'm calling from Siama.
Welcome.
Good morning to my Pedro. Pedro, good morning.
Morning, my brother.
Welcome. Yeah, thank you so much. You see, part of the topic, brother. Tell me just obvious. Come when you come to CPP to this. Come in, Musa Belede. Just obvious. La brain, you can't come to CPP free well. Then you put together that you want to Liberal Party and the Commission to Party. You come here from the president for the report. Come in just obvious. Yeah. Well, anything our children in the state. Come in, pay money and we eat it. If you don't do it, come in 2 weekends. Come in when you come in the opposition party, and you're fighting for it. Come in the man, come in for citizenship.
All right, thank you so much. The man said he's not in police station to answer yes or no question, but he.
But I know that. By the time I heard him, I know him. He's a comic supporter. He lives in Norway. His point is, and he loves the show, so he can't leave. You ask him the question. Do you believe? Oh, I asked him the question. Do you believe that the agreement the ANC signed with Ability is a legitimate agreement? He said he can't answer the question. Huh?
Yeah, so he's not in police station, but he in police station.
Let's take 2 callers and then we'll go. We gotta go take our guest. I want to do this as a happy birthday treat to Mr. William Anderson of the city of Philadelphia. Today's a birthday, and we wish you a very, very happy birthday here on the Costa Show. Let's take 2 callers, and then we'll take our guest. 2.
All right, let's take this person. Good morning.
Hello?
Where joining us from?
Good morning.
Good
morning.
Good morning. Your name, where you calling from?
Yeah, Baga, I'm Lana Stevie calling from Charlton.
Welcome.
You know, Baga, so Alexander Kumi the last time, I could say this, that Alexander Kumi is not ready for Liberian people or he's not ready to be anybody in this community. But I just want to acknowledge the people of the Liberty Party that Alexander Kumi, he is the one that masterminded any other thing that's going on in the Liberty Party. For the fact that you, Alexander Kumi, you have a political party. Then somebody else to have their own political party. If somebody else to come to the Liberty Party and then just go to Danny Little, who is the chairman or whosoever is the chairman, then they go to have a number understanding with them and the Alexander Kumi, how will he see? But I want to also acknowledge the Liberty Party said that in the Liberty Party, if the Liberty Party cannot come together so that they can kick against Musa Belete to move up. As long Musa Belete is living as a human in this country, the Liberty Party problem will not be solved in this country until he can do from there. Thank you for your time, Baga.
Thank you. We'll take our last caller from the diaspora. Good morning.
Good morning, Baga. Morning, Costa. My name is McDonald Nyaga, called from Minnesota.
Welcome.
Thank you for the show. Yeah, not bad. This is my contribution. I believe strongly if ANC don't have second place in this coming election, they're going to support the CDC to victory in 2023. That's my belief.
No, it don't.
They will support CDC. If they don't have second place. Thank you.
I don't think so, my brother, because Kumi is looking at his political future, and if he do,
let me say this to you.
It will be very difficult for him.
Let me say this to
you. Okay, thank you.
And Baga, that's our last caller. I made a commitment not to attack ANC. But if ANC does something that I believe is wrong, I will speak about it. And it is not an attack. You know me when I want to attack. You know me very well. But if you think that I will not speak to things that ANC does that I believe are wrong, you are mistaken. You are very, very mistaken. You have two leaders who must sign an agreement, and you sign the agreement with one leader, and you expect us to sit back and accept that you did the right thing? Eh? Tiola Gibson, you are right on the live podcast. Vivian Addo, you are on this podcast. Why do you people back wrong? This is not even, this is about all of you. It's not just about Ellis Cummings. It's about all of you. How can you sign an agreement with one person and say it is legitimate? I mean, who does that? And you sit down here and you say that, oh, the agreement correct. The political leader is higher than the chairman of the party. You sign an agreement with the chairman and you leave the political leader out and you say the agreement is a legitimate agreement. Something wrong with you? Do you have your thinking faculty well in place? I mean, what's wrong with you people? The thing is just simple. This is like 1 + 1. Two people must sign the document. One person signed it, he said, oh, but all we not need the other person. Then you say it correct. You say it correct. Hey, God. My point is, you are allowing one crook inability lead you down the wrong path. This is not about Mr. Cummings having the right to run for president or not. It is his right to run for president. But you sign the agreement, and they're still defending it. And you say you're better than seditionists. You and seditionists are the exact same. You defend anything your political leaders do. I will never do that nonsense. I used to be a sycophantic loyalist, blind loyalist in the past. I used to be. But I am no longer such a person. Nobody will make me be a blind loyalist. I am too sophisticated, too enlightened to be an idiot that would blindly support anything somebody I support does. Never. Now we're going to go and take our guest. So they're going to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will rule. And the Supreme Court will say that the agreement is not legitimate. Then what do? You start fighting again? That's why you was doing. You say, oh, the Supreme Court will tell you the agreement is not legitimate. That's what the Supreme Court is going to tell you. It is as simple as that. All right, let's go take our guest and discuss something much more important here, the education of our children. Mr. Daniel B. Menion, good morning to you and welcome to the Costa Show.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, crystal clear.
Good.
You are loud and clear on radio in Liberia, heard in several counties all over Montserrat and on multiple online platforms being streamed right across the world.
Now I'm nervous.
You know, I must say this, right? So I spoke with you and I was like, you know, the vibrancy in your voice and everything. I was like, yeah, you know, and just seeing you for the first time here in video is great. We're glad to have you, folks. If you're just tuning in, we're speaking with Mr. Daniel B. Menion. He is a Liberian passionate educator. He is the proprietor of the Daisy Bopa Academy, located in Mowe District, Riverside County. This is the school that deuced, as we say, the West African, the WAS exams, the 9th grade category, right?
We send 3rd grade, 6th grade, and 9th grade. And
good.
Yeah, so what did just a quick comment? They didn't they have the highest passing rate. Every student pass, all of them pass.
100% passing rate.
Yes. Yes.
Woo.
Every student pass. Yes.
Now, this is where 65,000 students fail and only 34,000 students pass. And 100% of your students passed.
Yeah.
Kudos. Now you gotta tell us what's the magic. But before we go to you telling us the magic behind this extraordinary success story, we want to hear about the history, the story behind the founding of the school. The floor is yours, Mr. Manuel.
Well, it's the history behind the school is very short. The school is it was the idea behind the school was my mom's. She talked about it briefly, and I didn't want to do this. So over the years, I have been sponsoring students, individual students in Liberia. I gave them scholarship. I go pay the tuitions and so forth. And in 1998, my mother got sick, and I left the U.S. to go take care of her, Mr. Costa. And I took her to Catholic Hospital. And on my way back, I decided to go to Totmaha. I graduated from Totmaha in the early 80s. I always go there just to look at the building because that building is still impressive. So I'm on my way going to Totmaha on 12th Street, and I saw 5 kids. And these kids apparently they came from Don Bosco School. And they're in the street, and everybody else is in school. And one of the child had his hand over his head like this, and he was crying.
Mm-hmm.
So I told the taxi driver to pull over. So I said, hey guys, how come you guys aren't in school? And then he was a spokesperson. Because they put us out of school. We don't have school fee. And I said, no. Get in the car. So I put all 5 kids in the car in the taxi and took them back to Don Bosco. And when I asked the principal, he said, yeah, they didn't pay the school fee. So I said, okay, well, I will sponsor them. This was back in 1998. So I had like $500 in my pocket. I just rip it out. Didn't even think twice. I paid a school fee, and then I told the principal, contact me directly, and I will take care of them until they finish high school. And that's what I did. And Mr. Costa, later did I know, and I forgot all about it. I never met them again, didn't see their parents, nothing. I just paid a school fee every year. And then a couple of years later, one of the kids, apparently he Googled my name because I worked as the controller for Oakland Unified School District, one of the largest school districts in the United States.
In California?
Yeah, I think the budget was like $780 million. A little bit.
And you were the controller?
Yeah. I was bigger than the Liberian government's budget, but that's
yeah. I like that.
Yeah, no, I mean I don't mean any
no,
of
no,
it.
no, it is true. I like
It's my
that.
it's my story. The story is what education was able to do for me, and I just want to share. I'm
To
not
make
doing
it
this to be,
possible for you to be
I'm not doing it to
in
be arrogant.
control of a budget way larger than the
Yes,
entire country's budget, the country that you're from. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And so I did that for a couple of years. I was the controller for 7 years, and then I retired thereafter. But to make a long story short, he Googled my name. That one of the kids, because I was on the internet. Now I'm on the internet because with public education in the United States, when you present the budget, everything is public. You can go on Oakland website and see what I did. I work at Oakland. I work at Tamalpais Union High School District. All of the districts that I worked at. If you Google Daniel B. Mannion, my name will pop up, and you can see what I did. But so he did that. And that's when, Mr. Kosa, that's when I started getting nervous. I said, oh, people know me out there.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, to make a long story short, he Googled me and called me. And he said, hello, is this Mr. Mannion? And I said, yes. He said, do you know who I am? I said, no. He said, you sponsored me? And I said, what? I sponsor a lot of people in Liberia. He said, no. You sponsor me and my friends. So then he introduced himself. And then he said, you remember you pay our school fee at Don Bosco. And now I remember him. And then I asked him, so what did you guys do when you graduated from high school? He said, oh, I went back. I was able to I went to college and I have my master's degree and I'm a banker. And I said, oh, that's nice. He said, no, but you don't understand. I wouldn't have been a banker without you. And I said, nah, don't worry about it. So then I said, what about the other kids? He said, oh, Keith Gray. He said, Keith he finished college and he went on and he's a medical doctor. And then I burst up in tears. So in Liberia, if you Google Keith Gray, he was one of those kids that I just randomly pick up in the streets and sponsor. And he went on to become a medical doctor. But here's the kicker. He did not leave the country. I think he went to England or somewhere to get his doctorate degree or whatever. And he came back to Liberia and he's a medical doctor in Liberia. And they said, both of them said, you got to tell your story. You got to. And I said, nah, I don't want to go on TV. I don't like TV or whatever. Then when I started talking to my wife about it, she said, well, instead of just giving school fee to people, why don't you build a school yourself? And then that way, if anybody asks you for money, you just send them there, so forth. And it didn't make sense, whatever.
That you should build a whole school.
Yeah, it's like, man, that's a lot of money. Where am I going to get the money from? And then they were like, set up a nonprofit organization and apply to Oprah Winfrey and Bill Gates and the Dell Foundation, the Rockefeller Fund. They will give you money. So I said, okay. So I started sending out application, and every door got slammed in my face because they don't fund stuff like we're doing. Went to the U.S. Embassy, went to different organizations. They don't, because this is a private individual. They deal with government. People that have been around for many, many years. So I decided to take matter in my own hands. I visited a village, and Mr. Costa, what I saw there was deplorable. This is Riverside County, way inland. This is inland, few miles from Tapeta, and inland away from Sesto City, smack in the middle of the tropical rainforest. And they had like a little mud hut, and they call it school. And I had just my school had just built an $80 million school campus. And because we passed bonds to do that. And then I go in my village, and the kids are sitting on bamboo stick. So I was convicted. So that's the genesis of this endeavor. So the first thing that I did was I built a full classroom building. We built it right away. We used some mud bricks and plastered it and put zinc on it. It looked really nice. And the kids went in, and then the news spread.
Far cry from what they had there.
Oh, of course. We came to Monrovia. We bought some wooden chairs, the classroom wooden chairs for them. And so then before we knew it, 80 students showed up. We only had room for about maybe 40 students or something like that. 80 students showed up, and then 100 students showed up. So then I had to get, because I had thought about retiring, so I had to get out of retirement and go work. And then the first building we put up
So
was
you had to go back to work because now you had to fund this project because you didn't
yes,
have
sir.
any big donors giving you money.
No, we have not received anything from any government. I have few friends that chip in here and there, but the school had to be built because then what was just something simple became a calling. It became a commitment. It became, because I work for the school system in the United States, Mr. Costa. I work for many school districts as the chief fiscal officer and as a fiscal service director. And I know in California, I think about 40% of the budget is earmarked for education. 40% of the government. Oh yeah, because I think the budget is at 80 billion or something like that.
Yeah, California is the 10th largest economy in the world.
There you go. So they more than 30% of the budget go to education, to fund education, right off the top. They call it Proposition 98. So it is a law. It's a constitutional law for the government to fund education. Education is not the job for private citizen in the United States. Private citizen, when you have a private school, the government will fund you. It will help you fund you. But anyway, I don't mean to get off the topic. But we had just dedicated this school building, and then I go in my village, and the kids they're sitting on bamboo sticks. So that's the genesis of this school. So once we had a physical infrastructure in place, the question then became, what about the academic side of it? So to get back to the secret, it's not a secret. The success is that I went to the Minister of Education, sat with them, and said, "Look, what is it that you expect from these kids? What do you want them to know?" So we downloaded the curriculum. It's about maybe a 200-300 page document, like all of the curriculum from ABC all the way to 12th grade. That's what we started, Mr. Costa. So once we were armed with that information, the next question was, what are some of the old exams? What does the question look like? Because when I took the GMAT to get into graduate college, I had old exam to study from. When I took the CPA exam years ago, I looked at old CPA exam to practice, and they were able to give us, I think it was a 1990 something exam, So I met with the teachers. And I said, when you're educating these kids for the 3rd grade, they need to know this. For the 6th grader, these are not the same question, but the concept, like fraction, algebra, and stuff like that. Make sure that the kids in XYZ grade should know XYZ. So that's how we started. So then the next thing we did was, the good thing about Moe is the kids are not distracted. We have a lot of instructional times. In other words, when a child enters the campus, Mr. Costa, they're in the classroom. There's no playtime. You only play on recess. So there's no cell phone or anything to distract them. So we have, right now we got about 13 or 14 classrooms. We got teachers in every single classroom.
And what's the total size of the population of this student population?
We had at the beginning of the year, we had about close to 400 kids, and some of them dropped off. So we were operating with 386 students.
That's a lot.
And the grade level is from ABC to 10th grade this year. Next year we're gonna have 11th grade. So I'm coming. We're gonna step up the game now. So I'm gonna be flying in to work on the academics of the 9th, 10th, 11th graders, because we're talking about biology, chemistry, and physics. But I will get into that later on. But the academic success came from, the first goal was these kids have to do well. They have to pass the wire exam. So that was our focus. So now that we met that goal, the next goal is academic excellence. In other words, so you may 70 and you pass. That's not enough. I want your grade to be 95 or 100%. Now we want them to do the exam. So what they have done, they have the highest passing rate, but they didn't do the exam. I want us to do the exam.
Okay.
So we're stepping up the game, and I'm going to pause and see if you have more questions.
Oh no, that's just incredible. So you sent me some pictures, some great pictures, which I will post, by the way, of the students. I saw them in a beautiful structure, nice classroom. They have armchairs. They're not sitting on bamboos.
No.
How did you pay for those things?
Out of pocket.
I saw them eating. I saw them eating in the. It didn't look like something they have bought outside the school campus or outside the building. I saw them eating. I mean, how do you pay for those things? I mean, all those things you have there.
Well, mostly out of pocket. 95, I would say 95% of them came out of pocket. We had a fundraiser a couple of years ago to put the roof on the big church. The zinc on that church is aluminum, so it will not rust. So
it's
there's
very
a lady. Excuse me.
Very expensive.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, but there was a Liberian lady named Inez Wande. She's yeah. There you go. Inez Wande is in Oakland, and she saw me. Her pastor saw me in a parking lot crying in the middle of nowhere in Oakland. This is funny. I had all these books that there you go. I had all these books that one of the school donated. This is a crazy story, Mr. Costa. So I'm putting these. I'm loading the. I went to what do you call it? Home Depot to get some storage package. So I'm packing this book, and tears coming out of my nose, out of my ears, snot coming out of my nose, and this pastor in the parking lot sees me. He said, "Young man, you look troubled. What's going on?" I said, "No, man, don't bother me." I said, "Leave me alone." He said, No. I need to know what's going on." I said, "You don't want to know." And then he said, "No, now you got to tell me." So I said, "Pastor, you know, I come from a country. It's a beautiful country. The people are educated, but the government don't care." And I just unloaded. He said, No, your government do care. I said, "No, they don't." He said, "But what are you going to do with all these books?" I said, "I just duck in my savings account to clean it up to ship these books to Liberia." He said, No, you need to come to my church. I know a Liberian lady that can help you.
Wow.
I said, "No, Liberian people, we don't help each other." I just went on and on. So I went to the church and I met the lady. Her name is Inez Wande. And when I told her my story, she said, "You doing all this stuff with your own money?" I said, "Yeah." And then I said, "I got this building. I got all these kids. I don't know where to put them," and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, you were just breaking down.
I just wanted to unload.
Yeah.
So she did the fundraiser for us in 98. We were able to raise the money to put the roof on the zinc, that church building. That's the first building we put up.
And these people who gave the money, were they Liberians? The people who
No, they were mostly American. She had a fundraiser for me somewhere in Oakland, and she had a lot of American friends, and they showed up. And there were a few Liberians there that showed up. Dr. Sam Butcher, a mathematician, they all showed up. They supported it. But that was in 98, and that's how we got the roof on that building. But everything else got funded out of pocket. The second building, the 2-story building, it got funded out of pocket. It cost close to 200, a little over 200 grand, and it took me a year and a half to build it. So I came out of retirement, went back to work, and started saving up, and that's how I put that 2-story.
Because you have to fund this thing pretty much out of your pocket, and
yeah,
if you had stayed in retirement, you wouldn't be able to earn enough money to do that.
Exactly. So I came out of retirement, and right now, when you and I were talking, I was in Los Angeles. I'm back home in San Diego. I was in Los Angeles working as a contractor because for a retired CBO, based on what I did with the school system, my name is in the school system. So I get phone calls from different school districts. So when the CFO or when the CBO or the chief financial officer retire, they call me to fill in, to help them close the book and do the budgets and stuff like that. So that's what I derive my earnings. So when
now you told me this incredible story where your salary, as you know, when you were working full time, you decided to come back out of retirement so that what you earn now can go towards the school, and what you get in your pension benefits or your retirement benefits is what you live off of. Tell us that story. How do you juggle that?
Well, it's funny because my wife, she put her foot down because she know if I have, here's my personality. If I have $100 in my pocket, I will give it away. That's me personally. That's just my personality. So when I retire, I was on fixed income. So my wife was like, we got bills to pay, because I kept sending money home. We got to buy cement. We got to do this. We got to buy concrete, or we got to pay the staff. And so she put her foot down and said, "You know what, honey? She wrote up all the bills. She said, here's the bill. We're going to cut it in half. So you pay half, I pay half, and whatever you do with the rest is yours. So I started, half of my salary goes to pay for my expenditures, my home expenditure, and the rest go to Liberia, and then I'll be broke, because we have, right now, we got about 21 staff that have to get paid every month. And I don't have a, how do you call it, recurring donors to give money. I don't have a church or group or government sponsoring the school. So it have to come out of pocket. Bottom line, it has to come out of pocket. So that was the arrangement. And then when I found out, Mr. Costa, the expenditures kept going up. Now we have to build I have to build a bigger building on the campus, because now we came from having 25 kids to 50 kids to 100 kids, 80 kids, 120 kids, 200 kids. Now we have 300 kids. And we're pushing to 400 students soon, because all of the schools in our region are not functioning. Our school is the only functioning, meaning where kids can go to school and get education. So that's what the student is growing. The number is growing. So with that, it requires more money. So that's what I came out of retirement and went back, and the consulting fee that I make, and that's what I'm sending to Liberia to build that big building. That's the 2-story building. It's a huge classroom. Those chairs the kids are sitting on.
So when that building is completed, you're going to be able to host more students.
No. That building is just to host the 380 students. There's a foundation that I have invested. Next time we in Liberia, man, I like us to get in a Jeep so we can go. You can go see the campus. There is a 13,000 square foot foundation in the back of that church that we already completed. It costs about $50,000.
I'm going to hold you right there, folks. Yeah, you see it. Those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube, you should be able to see that these are real solid concrete buildings with all the way up there in the remotest part of Riverside County.
Yes,
I mean, this kind of development, even to find it in Chester City, is hard, let alone in Moet. And this is what we're talking about. So this is not just some mediocre project. This is solid. Look at the chairs these kids are sitting on. The environment is so conducive. Look at the chairs. Look at these chairs. You see, look at the uniforms. See how these kids look good in the uniforms. Look. So we're talking about the environment as well, not just it is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Look at this building. This is the massive building. It's a high ceiling building. Yes. Now, Mr. Mayor, what you've done and what you are doing is just incredible. And I want to say we're very proud of you. But let's talk about tuition. Do these kids pay any tuition?
No. It's the only school that is the only school in the entire republic that is free. We buy the uniform for my wife and I pay for those uniforms.
The uniforms these kids are wearing, you buy them too?
Yes. It is a free education campus. Nobody pay a penny. And we don't get a penny from the government. We haven't received any money. This is strictly money coming out of pocket.
Wow.
There's a friend of mine here that donate $500 every month to pay for the teachers, to pay for the 3 high school teachers we currently have. So I talked to him and he said, no, man, you can't carry the burden by yourself. So he helped out. So what I do is at the beginning of the year, I put money aside.
Wow.
So when school open, let me tell you what all a child has to do is show up. We don't charge registration fee. We gave them the textbooks. We gave them the uniform, everything. It is free. So I was talking to a couple of friends, and I went to government school. I went to Tottenham High. We bought our own uniform. We paid for registration. This campus, nothing. A child just showed up. What is your name? What grade you in? We test you. We put you in a respective class. There's a tailor that come from Monrovia, goes there and measure them. We give him a contract. He sold all the uniform. So that's what we're doing. So now we're trying to come up with some self-sustaining ideas because as you can see, the gray hair, I'm getting old. So where the school can start funding itself without having to charge tuition. So I have a couple of goals. That is academic excellency, where these kids are scoring very high on the wire exam. I want them to do it. and then to put in some self-sustaining program, whether it's agriculture, whatever it is. So that's where my mind is right now. But no, it is free.
Land. How much land do you have? That place looks like you have a lot of land.
Well, that's my home. That's my hometown. That's my father. My mother is the daughter of a king. What they call him, Boy Zaman. They were, when you hear about Bodo Huyetan or
Bodo Huyetan.
Those were his people. Those were his friends. So he settled somewhere, and then I think there was Bodo Huye was on the other side, and then there's Bo Jise, and then his town. So we have a lot of land. So so that when I told them about the project, they said, how much land you want? I said, well, what about it? And they just gave me 100 acre right off the top, you know, to build that campus on. So
I mean, look at those big buildings. Like that's something the missionaries used to do back in the day. They would come bring all that money from abroad, and look at what you've done. It's incredible. I'm gonna post the pictures.
Here's the deal, Mr. Costa. Our biggest fear, we got to teach the kids how to use flush toilet. So that's challenging because the building.
Hold on. Those buildings, because those are modern buildings I see. So you install clearly, obviously, flush toilets, and the kids don't even know how to use the flush toilets. Tell us about that.
I don't mean to insult them.
No, I understand. They're just not exposed to it. I understand. I grew up in the village. We didn't have flush toilets.
Yeah, what they do. So now we have to hire we have 5 custodians to clean the campus every day. So the campus is very clean. You know, the windows.
I can see.
But by the way, the windows, those are sliding glass window on the building.
I see the sliding glass windows, very expensive windows, man.
And
you took a modern campus all the way in there.
That's the lifetime. How do I say it? That's a stupid move that I did. Instead of me building houses in Monroe, enjoying myself,
man, hundreds of thousands of dollars you put away off that, man. Look, but guess what? The value of that is immeasurable. Those students, you're giving them something that nobody can give them.
Thank you.
Education is the greatest gift anybody can give you. But hey, before you leave here this morning, we got to do something, folks. We got to raise some money, small money. We got to raise here this morning, and then we'll schedule something and bring Mr. May on back here on one of our afternoons, our evening sessions where we're doing an exclusive fundraiser. We got to do this. What you're doing is remarkable.
Thank you.
It's a long time since I heard anything like this. I'm just so moved, folks. I will post the pictures. When you see these pictures, they will blow you away. They give the students uniforms. It's one thing to build a building, but now you got to talk about, before we go to the fundraiser, we got to raise some money. And folks, this is the Cash App right here, right? This number is the Cash App at the bottom here.
Yeah,
619-540-8509. That's the Cash App, right?
I think that's a Zelle. The Cash App. I just text you the Cash App. Check your text.
Okay, so this is the Zelle, right?
That's Zelle, and then the Cash App is in your text message.
Yeah, I got a Cash App here. You want to give me the number as well? Do you have a number for that, or it's just $ more?
Yes, EDF education. Can you post it on Mr. Boakak? Is there a way you can display that?
I will. Don't worry about it. I'm doing that right now. So this is the Cash App I'm putting right here. Look, this is incredible, folks.
Mm-hmm. So, and the reason, Mr. Costa, the reason we need to raise this money urgently, because I just received 400 chairs that I'm trying to ship.
Chairs.
Yeah, I'm trying to ship to Liberia so that we keep it in the storehouse for because we're gonna grow next year. So in anticipation of that, we're trying to get more chairs to More West. So if anybody can help, if they're foreign government, the British embassy, US embassy, any embassy wants to help, we really appreciate it, because the burden is getting heavy on me. As you can see, my hair is gray. I have more gray hair than I ever did.
Folks, you have to chip in right now. This is the Cash App. You got to send something. This is just incredible. 400 cheers. Look, it's just incredible what this man has accomplished. I mean, I'm telling you. Wow. This is just an incredible story. And look, I will post the pictures right after the show. George, remind me just when we hang up with him, but we got to take some calls. We got to open the phone lines and take some calls. And you got to send your contribution. And it's $ Morweh. That's MORWEHEDF1. $ Morweh F1. Morweh ED. I'm sure the ED stands for Morweh Education F1, right?
Yes, Morweh Education Development Foundation.
Okay, Morweh Education Development Foundation, EDF1. That's
Correct.
it. $ Morweh EDF1. And the Zelle is 619-540-8509. And Mr. Mayor, kindly be watching your phone. We'll see there, as people send their contribution, because I know people are sending their contribution. People are going to send something. This is just remarkable what this man is doing.
Mr. Costa, can I say something to you real quick? Can I say something to the audience? We're stepping up our game. When I say academic excellency, we're going back to the preschool and we're going digital. So as we speak, we bought 20, we received a donation of 20 computers, and all the classrooms going to have TV in there, the flat screen TV. And we're going to go back, and the kids are going to, we're going to start doing digital training here, as you can see. Yeah.
This is remarkable, man. Your cousin, New York, just
so these are instructional DVD. I got about 100 of these for chemistry, physics, biology. You're going to be here. The kids are going to be hearing from the mouth of the scientists. Our 10th, our 9th, 10th, and 11th grade are going to be hearing from. They're going to watch. They're not just going to read about the law of relativity, but they're going to watch it in animation. These are
because visuals are very powerful.
Oh yeah, these are for the kids. I got about 100 DVDs. So in addition to the teaching the kids in the classroom, they're going to watch the Isaac Newton law of motion. They're going to watch Albert Einstein
and law of relativity. Some of them haven't seen a television set before. And at the school, they have all of this.
Yes, they have. Look, like I said, I have 100. This is biology. This is the whole course of biology. Everything you
and that's all DVD.
This is there's about three per DVD. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 15. That's almost
for those of you on the radio who are listening, he's actually showing us the DVD, the different DVDs, instructional DVD materials.
Yes.
That they're screening these videos in the classrooms.
Yes, we plan on doing that.
Yes. Are watching. In fact, this is one of the methodologies that they use to prepare the students for the WAS. WAS. And folks, you're still asking for the Cash App. The Cash App is right here at the bottom of the screen. You should be able to see it. It's $ Morweh EDF1. It's right here at the bottom of the screen. Kindly send your contributions, folks. This is just remarkable.
Right. So this is biology. We have one. We have a set for chemistry, and we have one for physics. Then I have algebra. I have preschool, phonics. I mean, you name it. We have all of these materials. So I'm bringing them with me in September, hopefully sometime this year, so we can start impacting this knowledge on the kids.
Why are people saying they can't see it? It's right here at the bottom of the page. Why are you saying you can't see it? So send your contributions, folks. And if you have Zelle, you want to do Zelle, you can also do Zelle. But $ Morweh ED. Our people there. EDF1. This is a Cash App, folks. I just put it here again. I just typed it right here. This is an incredible story. What this man, somebody said the writing is covering. I don't know how to get rid of the writing, folks. I don't know how to get rid of this. The caption as you're speaking, the writing is there, but I just put it right here against $ Morweh. And Mr. Mayo, kindly check your Cash App and see whether people are sending, because the city is sending money. We want to make sure. What we're going to do here is we're going to plan and we're going to organize an exclusive fundraiser. And normally we do our fundraisers in the evening. We're going to plan one weekend. We're going to bring you back here. I'm going to post those pictures so that people can see what a great job you're doing, so that we can raise some money to help with what you're doing.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we have to. So you got those 400 chairs you want to ship to the school. I mean, just looking at the building, one of the things that really impresses me is that it's one thing to go there and put a little makeshift thing down, but that's not what he did. That's not what he did. What they did here is just remarkable. What they did is just remarkable. It is remarkable because they went and they built a whole modern building. I mean, all the amenities you think any school anywhere ought to have. This is it right here. So we have the Cash App right here, and we have the Zelle. It's all right here at the bottom of the page. That's the name of the school, Daisy Bopa Academy. That's the name of the school, and the Cash App and the Zelle. The Zelle is there. The Cash App is there. Please, you gotta send. The Zelle is this is the Zelle 619 540 8509. That's the thing. People are sending money. People are sending money.
Yeah,
But
I
this
see.
is just a preliminary. This is a teaser. This is just extraordinary. What you've done is just remarkable. And folks, I have the pictures here, man. I can't wait to post them so you all can see them. Now, George, we need to take some calls. This is remarkable. Take some calls there, George.
Okay, 0770-102-102-0886 102-102. The WhatsApp number +231 880-513-417. The WhatsApp +231 880-513-417. 0770-102-102-0886 010 TD. No calls yet.
Yeah, calls will definitely come, Josh. Calls will come. Don't worry about that.
Sure.
This is just beautiful. So, Mr. Mayo.
Yes.
You've explained the story to us. I want you to tell us how exactly did you prepare these students for the WAS?
Well, what we did was when I went back to Liberia, I had a meeting with the teachers. And I think this is a case where the stars and the moon, everything lined up correctly for us. We prayed about this. My mother prayed about this before she passed. But anyway, I went back to Liberia and I had a meeting with the teachers and I told them, look, the teaching profession, whether in the United States or here, is not the profession you go in if you're trying to get rich or you're trying to make a whole lot of money. It is a calling. Teaching is a calling like preaching or whatever. You have to have passion for it. And Mr. Costa, they listened and it got through to them. They understood exactly what I was saying. And I told the kids, I met with the representative and also explained to them the link between education and success. And I told them that I was a living example. So it's not just talking, but you have to equip these kids. If you expect a child to pass a wire exam, you have to train them. You got to show them how to take the exam. You got to prepare them. So you start with it. You look at the end goal, which is, hey, we want the kids, when a child is in the third grade, they should know their shapes. They should know their color. They should know some basic sounds and stuff like that. So with that information, you develop a curriculum to have the children to be successful. Same thing with the sixth grader. Same thing with the ninth grader. So we started having Saturday classes. To have these kids take what they call a mock exam.
Mm-hmm.
You lecture. I told the teacher, lecture for 15 or 20 minutes and give a test. Or if you lecture for 30 minutes or 45 minutes, give a 15-minute pop. We call it pop quiz.
Mm-hmm.
So these kids can be.
You want to test to see how they are receiving this material, whether they're understanding it.
Exactly. So what I told the teacher was emphasize concept. Don't say, oh, you failed, then you get an F. When we were in school, they'll put a F in red, like put an F in a red mark. That hurts. Because I told the teacher when a child is when a child is given an exam and he or she doesn't do well, it is an indictment on you. So
on
look
the
at
teacher,
it.
Not the child.
Exactly. Look at it.
It's your job to ensure the child understands the material.
Thank you. So I said, look at it from that perspective. That is, So when you give the pop quiz, it shouldn't be to tell the kids that they fail or they pass. It should be
they're not
okay,
good enough.
exactly. Exactly. So that's our secret. That's the secret. The secret is test these kids to know, to see if what you're showing them or what you're teaching them is going through. And by the way, I wanted to take this time to really thank the teacher. They've done a marvelous job. I mean, they will come to work on Saturday. The full month leading to the exam.
So this one, not no kind of they need G or let need G been y'all did down there for the student, all of them to pass.
No, that I need you. No, well, the Niji is academic excellent. Our Niji.
That's very good.
The Niji is practice. Yes, but I'll be happy to answer a question.
All right, George, let's take a few calls there. Our time is up, but we're going to take a few more calls. And while we're taking those calls, kind of check the cash app in the Zelle and let us know what has come in, just so we get, yeah.
Good morning, we can hear you.
Good morning, Eric. Good morning, Charles. Good morning, Mr. Moore. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Peter Siegel Jr., and I come from Minneapolis. It's so interesting. The work you're doing is credible. I want to thank you for what God is doing through you for the church of Liberia. A few people can recognize that you help them. The grateful ones. That 10 level spirit, the actor and the guy we just talked about, the head of your SOC. I want to thank you, but I don't know whether you, the senators, you want me that you want to reach out to them.
I try.
Okay, guys, we're not taking no more calls. We'll just finish up with Mr. Mayon. Mr. Mayon, did you understand what Brother Tool said?
Can you repeat that for me, please?
Well, his line is his line was a bad line, but he thanked you for the great work that you're doing for those students, the children of Riverside, Liberia. And he wanted to know whether you had any political aspirations.
No, I don't. Matter of fact, everybody think I wanted to be senator. When the senatorial seat opened, the Moe region people call me. They
and they wanted to draft you to run.
Yeah. And I said, but I'm not a politician. And then people think I'm crazy. I said, I'm not a politician. But you have a master's degree and this and that. You're a controller for one of the largest school districts. I said, but I'm not a politician. That does not qualify me.
And I would like you to please tell them what you told me when that particular subject came up, and about how you said politics would distract you.
Exactly.
From what it is you're doing, and besides that, you wouldn't be a good fit because they wouldn't like you for being bold.
Exactly. Because with working as a controller, you're in charge of everything. You make decision based on a set of criteria, and it worked. In Liberia, I would not make it. To be honest with you, I would not survive. Well, I wouldn't say that, but I wouldn't thrive. I hit, these are my family people, so they came to me and they wanted me to be senator, and I told them no, and they thought I was crazy. Because like you were saying, if I was a senator, I wouldn't be a senator just for Moet. I would have to, work with all the districts and towns and everywhere, and I would be distracted. So that's why I try to steer clear from politics. I mean, I talk political stuff, but that's it. I just talk stuff, but I have a goal, and that goal is to fight illiteracy. And I have a clear vision, Mr. Costa. There's no doubt in my mind where I'm headed with this. I want those kids to be able to, when they graduate from our school, they can take the SAT at any university and score high. That's what I'm headed right now with. That's what my mind is. So the kids pass the exam, but I wanted to score high on it. The high school kids, when they graduate, I want them to be prepared so that they can take the SAT. Matter of fact, in the 12th grade, we're going to have mock-up exam of SAT. They're going to be taking exam. I'm going to get the SAT, the old SAT exam, and they will be taking them. So that's where my mind is, and I will not be able to do that if I were a senator or a representative.
Thank you very much. You have a higher calling, a greater mission. and you would not want to be distracted from that.
Exactly.
And we're very glad that we're speaking with you this morning. As I said to you earlier, what I was about to say was I was trying to say, your cousin Chris Neal, who's also from Moe District.
Yes.
He wanted to say, shout out to you, and he's very proud of you.
Yes.
For all the great work that you're doing, and we are all proud of you. I only heard of you a few days ago. But we heard about the great work the school had done. Yeah, now thousands and thousands of people know who you are, Daniel Mayon, and what a great job you're doing there. And we're gonna work. I'm going to talk to my people at the level of the COP. We have supported a number of initiatives. We raise money all the time for good causes. A couple months ago, we raised $10,000 for an organization, and we did that publicly so everybody knows, for an organization that trains teachers, recruits and trains teachers and places them in the classroom. When this Liberian students studying in Ukraine was stranded as a result of the war and scattered across Europe, we raised $12,000 for them to help them move around. We do those things all over.
That's nice.
This is the only platform that does that.
Mr. Costa, let me interject here. I have an uncle named Dr. Abakanga. Abakanga is in Buchanan, and he told me, I think that's Nyoblikanga's father. That's my uncle. He told me a long time ago, he said, son, you got to go into communication. And I said, why? He said, communication is power. And what you are doing is powerful. This is part of democracy and development. Communication is very important. Here I am in San Diego, and there are people in Monrovia communicating with us.
All around the world.
Yeah, exactly. So what we're trying to do is once we install the computer and the TV screen in those classrooms, we have access to the internet, I can teach physics or chemistry from here. I have a lot of retired educated that can teach from anywhere into Moe. So we're gonna go digital.
Distance learning.
Yes, distance learning. We're gonna institute distance learning, but the only thing holding us right now, we don't have access to internet. So when I come, I'm gonna see how we can do that. If we had internet, man, I'll be teaching math from here. I'll be teaching high school math from right here where I'm sitting.
On the big screen. Where they
yes, because they have the screen in the class. We have the screen. We're shipping those screen right now, and all of the classrooms are gonna have the big screen TV. So those kids will be.
Those are amenities even schools in Monrovia don't have. Most schools.
Well, I'm gonna give it 100% because my grandfather is buried over there. I knew him. He helped raise me also. So I don't know. If you value something, you have to invest in it.
It's true.
And I hate to preach on your show, but the Bible said that God valued people, that he gave his only begotten son. The most valuable thing he had is what he gave. Mm-hmm. So, people say we believe in education, we believe in education. Well, then show me. You know what I mean?
Put your money where your mouth is.
Exactly. So we didn't do this. I'm not doing this for any kind of a publicity. So that's why we kept off the radar. This been going on for a couple of years. That school was built for a couple of years. The only guy who saw me and he insisted he wanted to put it in the paper was Kenneth Best. I worked for him way back. I was a typist for him, Daily Observer during the Doe era. I ran into him. He said, "What you been up to?" And I said, "Well, I'm here to build a school." He said, "Where?" I said, "My way." He said, "No, it's got to be in the paper." I said, "No, Mr. Best." He said, "No, it's got to be in the paper." So that was a couple of years ago. And a reporter went with me at the very start, and there was a little story somewhere in the paper. But we tried to stay away from the publicity and stuff like that, and then let our deed show. So the only reason I'm on the air talking about this is because everybody heard about it, and a couple of my friends encouraged me to come and talk about it. But publicity is not mine. It's not.
But it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Like Mr. Abakanga told you, it's a good thing because you know what? It's good because people need to know what you're doing, and that way you can coalesce. You can make you can meet like-minded people who will contribute, who will support what you're doing. You're not doing it for yourself. You're not trying to draw attention onto yourself. You're drawing attention onto the project, what it is you're doing. The school shot to national prominence by the results, the remarkable results at at the WAS exams. But now you yourself, the visionary behind the great vision, which is a vision that's in reality that people are benefiting from, you have to tell that story, which is what you're doing very, very well.
Thank you.
And so we will work with you, and we'll organize a fundraiser, and we will bring you on, and we'll raise some good money to help show up the great efforts.
Thank you so much, Mr.
And I'll post those pictures, and trust me, I will. Lots of people. You have to give me a contact information that serious people who want to help can reach you by, because
that's my cell phone number. I sleep with that phone. With that phone. So that's the number you see. That Zelle number. Yeah. You can reach me anytime. Text me or message me.
I'm going to put it up there, and I assure you, thousands. I have 150 something thousand people on my personal page alone. So these are people all over the world. So people are going to be reaching out to you to try to see how they can help with the great work that you're doing.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. We're going to try to
put you in touch with other people who can help. I have a friend of mine. He runs a school in Liberia too, which is tuition free. He just received a 600 Chrome laptop computers. 600. I'm pretty sure he doesn't need all of them. I'll try to speak with him to see how we can get 100 or at least for you.
Okay.
Those are
and
things.
Let him know when I don't want to make any promises, but if I have chairs that are left over, let's hook up. He and I can hook up.
Yeah, you go. I'm gonna put you and Norma in touch.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Networking.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah. Thank you so much for what you're doing. God bless you, my brother. God bless you.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Folks, there are lots of incredible people working behind the scenes and doing a lot of great things all over the world. And some of them right in our country. Quiet heroes, quiet giants who don't beat their chest, but they're doing great stuff. And from time to time, whenever we come across these people, we bring them forward and we give them exposure and the work that they're doing. We highlight it, and then we try to link them with people who would help and contribute to what they're doing. So Daniel Mignon is a hero by every definition possible. Someone who would go to any length to try to make a difference in another person's life, who would sacrifice personally to do that, is worthy of being called a hero. And that is exactly what he is. He's given a gift, the greatest gift possible, the gift of education, quality education, to the children of Moe in Riverside County, one of the most underdeveloped counties in the country. And this is no small measure of a gift. It's incredible. Thank you so much. God bless you all, and have yourselves a wonderful day. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.